Back in the distant years of my childhood, I spent summers at my grandmother's house like many American kids on the coast. It was a typical story. Parents would come for the weekend and the child would be left on his own for summer vacation. My grandmother's house stood far from the city, surrounded by dense forests. On one side of the road leading to our house there was a huge pine forest full of mushrooms and berries. On the other side were impenetrable thickets, which were strictly forbidden to enter. No one went into this part of the forest, not even adults, although the locals sometimes looked in. They answered our questions with the same thing: you can't go there and that's it. We were city kids, visiting our grandmother at the age of 10 to 12. There were both girls and boys in our company, 7 of us in all. We met every summer and became good friends long ago. We explored everything around us except this mysterious forbidden forest. But one day we decided it was time to find out why we weren't allowed there. We enlisted the help of a local old-timer, Grandpa Pitt, who was always cheerful and usually divulged all the secrets after a couple drinks. "Why can't we go? There are no guards there," Grandpa said. "But be careful. There's a woman in a white dress sitting on a rock by the river and singing. But if she sees you, you may disappear without a trace." We begged him to tell us more, but Grandpa Pitt was silent. The story only piqued our curiosity even more, and despite the girls' objections, we decided to go to this mysterious forest after lunch. We told our parents we were going to the lake and headed towards the forest. We walked along the bank of the river so we wouldn't get lost, for the woman in white was rumored to usually sing there. As the woods grew thicker, the girls began to whine and urge us to go home. In the heat of the argument, we did not notice that we had come to a large clearing. And indeed, there were a lot of mushrooms there. We picked them to the brim and decided to take a break, sitting down on one of the logs by the river. We were discussing how the adults would surprise us by seeing so many mushrooms when one of us sharply whispered, "Quiet. Do you hear?" In the silence, we heard a voice humming a song. We froze with fear, but curiosity got the best of us and we walked in the direction of the sound. After 100 meters, the voice came closer and closer, and as we pushed the bushes apart, we saw her. I had never felt such terror as I did at that moment. The woman was standing on a rock, looking like a ghost. She was dressed in white, her hair was disheveled and stretched to the ground, and her eyes expressed hatred. We have no memory of how we got home. Over the years, I learned who that woman was that filled the whole neighborhood with fear. During the war, a little girl ran away into the woods when she saw her mother being shot by the Nazis. Her mind was weakened by the horror she experienced. She lived in a dugout, stealing chickens and food from the village. Once stealing a sheet, she became the woman in white to everyone. They tried to catch her, but no one knew if they succeeded.